Hi, welcome to another video on my Arduino Mega2560 with some electronic circuits, motors and propellers and a chain. In my previous video I tried to solve the problem of driving this LED by pressing this sensor. So far no luck, and the point is that this switch should give the potential difference right here, so it is really noticed that there is a signal. Last time I also tried some wires, and in the serial console, serial monitor I should say, within the Arduino IDE, it turned out that this LED is driven more by software than by hardware. So the point is to measure the signal, and then it shows that the signal level is way too low for measuring. On my analog meter it doesn't show anything, while on my digital multimeter it shows not more than 1/10 of a volt. And that is not really noticeable on an analog multimeter. So the question comes to the wiring, and I think I should rewire this. So I will do such, and this has to be the plus then. The question is though, is that really sufficient to do that? And if we look now at this LED, there's no change at all. So if we then use a multimeter and measure the voltage, and I will do that here, then it says just 0.02 and varying between 1 and 4 hundredths of volts. So that is way too little. So the question is how to wire it correctly, and that is the focus on this video for now. Which wire should go where in order to have a decent signal coming from here driving this LED. And the question is of course also, with this new rewiring, how is this voltage level? And let me take this and this, because these points have the same voltage level. And that isn't very much. It is about 1 volt maximum. And with a potential difference, it means that there is really something about the wires. So let's check that out. with some thinking and finding some examples, I think I found a wiring problem, and I hope I have solved that by now. Because if you look at transistors, it has 3 wires, and a transistor is nothing else but electronic switch, and here I have a mechanical switch. You're looking at example online with a push button, which is actually more or less the same. One wire is connected to the plus, one wire is via a resistor connected to the mass, and one is a signal. And if I look at the transistor, the middle is with a resistor. Here is the same. Not saying that it is exactly the same, but okay. And here there's a wire going to the mass, and I have one wire going to the mass. So this should be about the same idea. It would have been nice if the LED would have been responding immediately. Unfortunately, that it does not. And the question is even if it is fully responding at all. And you see that it responds, but it responds unfortunately only to the code I've written, which means that it goes on for 2 seconds and or off for 2 seconds and on for 1 second now, and even that it doesn't do always. Last time I also found out that the C language for Arduino is a subset of the original C language, so I can't do everything I like to test. All that said, I have measured over the switch, and then I find in the current situation that there's a difference on switching of 2.7 volts more or less, and I would say that that is enough for doing anything, giving a signal. And let's for test just remove this one there and see it still goes on and off. So somehow I need to check on the code and to see if this wire is still giving its same problem as it used to do. So let's go there and find out. So with the switch completely rewired, the code is still the same, which also means that I'm sending out from 7 and I'm reading in from 12. Analog in pin, this is to read 12, and that is the value I need. Let's also make this 12, just a little bit less confusing, and they should be going as intended. So 3 seconds off, 1 second on. But the most important thing is, does this actually read what it should do? So compiling, uploading, done. Now I do need a serial monitor. And unfortunately it says off 0 a lot of times, and the question is this actually the real thing? How can I refresh it in the same time as the chain moves? Because that is the objective. This seems to be very slow. So 12, and then of course let's just see how this works out. I'm very curious, because in this case, of course, if you have seen previous episodes, here I compare the red value with 1, then I print it and I write position high to pin 7, which is the LED. And here I do the same when the value is 0. For the value low. So let's do this. And the crazy thing is, I do not see anything about a value, sensor value. So this is very strange. As if it doesn't read anything. Is this a wrong connector? I'm going to check. It doesn't look like it. So I disconnect from 12. Does that make any sense? Or any difference? No, it still gives just 0. I disconnect on the other side. And here it gives 1, 1, 0. But that is, as I've seen last time, completely random. If there's no signal on the input, it just randomly changes between 0 and 1. So I stick it in again. Remains the question, when does it actually read input? And also these values are not exactly like now. It should give 1, and now, and Now, and you see it absolutely doesn't do it. So it's time to find out how I can change this on the board side. It remains very challenging. According to an example, I should maybe not use 1 but high, and this means that the C language for Arduino and the signals are actually even more different than I previously thought, and they actually do read input on a digital port, and they do send output exactly the way I do. So let's test in this way, see what happens. So far no difference. No difference at all. And the LED isn't even burning, so let's use the serial monitor to find out. I am afraid that there is no difference at all. Although, if it does, and let's see, it does sense the 12.0. If it is no, then no. But there is no high, and that's remarkable. That is very remarkable now. And ifs are with doubles, and there are no ones. For example, I expected at least one 12.1 like here, but I see none. Let's check this again. Okay, this should give a programming error. It doesn't. I find it odd. Let's check the code. I find this very odd. Let's check the code here then. C wise, this doesn't make any sense. Let me put this way. And now this is completely left out. So whatever is going on, let me put double is back. The difference is that in C a single equal sign is an assignment, while a double equal sign means a comparison. So it doesn't make any sense that it even allows the a single equal sign with an if. Very odd. So I'll upload, and okay, that's it. So let's check again. According to the example, they do exactly the same, but without the delay. So let me for now end the delay. They give commands that this condition is only used if the switch is closed, which is logical, because when the switch is closed, the current goes freely, making the input high. And here the exact opposite. So why this doesn't work, I can't tell. Let me try just again. And actually without the delay it is better, because then I can actually see if and now it looks like it is actually working. So perhaps removing the delay was a better thing at all. So I've changed two things, from 1 to high, from 0 to low, removing the delay. And of course I rewired the switch. So let's take a look. So now, looking at the complete setup, now you can see that each time it passes the switch, the LED flashes. And that is actually what I wanted to happen. And that it just flashes once or twice, I don't care. As long as it doesn't flash when the switch isn't touched. And right now it certainly looks like it works. So as said, what was necessary was a rewiring of the switch, and apparently in Arduino C an if statement using 1 or 0 has to use high and low, and that's a big difference. So this opens possibilities using electronics and some programming. And I think this is a closed case for a nice motor with a switch, potentiometer, voltmeter, and the switch actually activated by the switch, LED activated. So for now, thank you for watching. It has taken a while, but I managed, and to be continued.